Therapy, it has its place, but it's not. To me, it's like,
You know, another guy said, I just figured the testimonials, I figured you just paid people to do those. Like,
No, unless you experience it, you don't know, right?
Yeah. Nothing I cherish in my life ever came easy to me.
20% of the men of this week have no friends.
Yeah.
Had zero friends.
Like
Zero. We are entitled to have fun. It's part of our DNA.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the TPM Show. And once again, we have some very special guests. Two of our master coaches are in the studio with us today, and they are about to drop some knowledge bombs. They are fresh off of an Alpha Rising and an Alpha Reset, and we'll describe what those are for those that don't know. But we have some really interesting topics to dive into. Mark, Neil, thanks for being here, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Well, Mark, you're just coming off of what? 3 Alpha Risings, 3 Alpha Resets, 6. No. and Neil as well, coming off of back-to-back Alpha Rising, Alpha Reset. You're about to jump into another Alpha Reset with Coach Steve.
I am, yes.
Pretty amazing, guys. Mm-hmm. Surprised you guys are still standing.
We're not.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
We're pretending to still be standing. This is a hologram.
Yeah.
This formaldehyde is keeping me alive right now.
Well, I know from the coaching side, I mean, you guys as coaches, we go all in, right?
Yeah.
There's no man left behind at either of the events. And for those guys that don't know, the Alpha Reset's our flagship 4-day, it's really kind of 3 days, but experiential event. Within 96 hours, the man who walks in the door is completely different, almost unrecognizable, certainly emotionally and spiritually unrecognizable to the man that walked in. Mm-hmm. And the Alpha Rising is the next level that builds upon that, that men get to walk.
Yeah.
And so when you do it, all of us as coaches, we have this idea like no man left behind. So you pour your heart and soul into it. So I appreciate what you guys have done for these guys. I had a chance to talk to a few of the men. They are absolutely glowing and radiating energy. So you poured into them deeply. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
we did. It's really amazing. Speaking of the concept of living it out, being on mission, I call it. You know, this for me it's not a joke, and it's not a job. It's a mission, and it's really important that men are safe in the world for girls and children, specifically girls though, and women. And it's incredible what's possible in a short space of time. And very few people believe us when we say your life can be radically different in a few days. And unless you experience it, you don't know, right?
Yeah.
But it's definitely guys have said to us, been in therapy for so many years and had to overcome a whole bunch of obstacles, including my own resistance to doing the work. And once I've done it, it's 20 years of therapy condensed into 3 days and more effective because there's a change from within. And it's not just a talk aspect, it's a fundamental shift.
Yeah, psychological assessment, right? It's like just revolving door of psychological assessment doesn't get you where you want to be. We're human beings, not doings. And I think that's really a big key, isn't it? We've noticed for 20 years I've been doing this, and that's the same thing I've heard so often.
Yeah.
Therapy, it has its place, but it's not. To me, it's like,
well, you can tell somebody, right? Like, so I was just sharing with you guys, I'm teaching 1st and 2nd graders basketball. I can tell them how to shoot a basketball, or they can experience how to shoot a basketball. Which one do you think is going to be better?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And like you said, talk therapy, it's got its place. It's great, but we sit here and hear men, reset after reset, rising after rising, event after event, talk about 20 plus years of emotional scars, trauma that they'd never have shared with another man or what have you, and actually get to release it because it's a systematic process, right? We call it a transformational process.
Yeah.
Drew called me out on this, who was one of the members that was here. He's like, you're way underselling this. But at the same time, another guy said, I just figured the testimonials, I figured you just paid people to do those. I'm like, no.
No.
Yeah, no. We have hundreds of testimonials from real men who go, I wish I would have done this earlier, so I need to share this coming through.
Yeah.
And it's just so awesome, the work that the two of you have done with these men that I got to meet just a little bit ago as they're heading home to their families for the first time, as one of them said to me.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
We were talking off camera about this idea of living it out, right? So at TPM, we have 4 core values. One of them is living it out, which means to us, well, I'll tell you what it means to me and what's written down. But we live the message ourselves. We eat our own cooking before speaking the message or telling the guys what to do. And we really do it. And we also, in our pursuit of our best lives, like you said, Mark, on mission.
Yeah.
Right? All 3 of us, I think, would say that this is what we're here for.
Yeah.
This work that we do is helping people specifically. And every year we give out an award for Live It Out. And Mark, you've won it, what, twice?
Yeah.
I think so. And I think we just stopped giving it to you.
Became boring.
Yeah. What does living it out mean to you guys? Because I'm going to guess a lot of men listening to this are very good at thinking it out, are very good at working in their business. Working it out.
Yeah.
Or at least in their business. But I would guess that most of them, if they're really honest with themselves, are missing the living part. What does it mean to you? Either of you?
I think it's what I call embodiment. There's a saying I always have is like, I want to, when we learn something new, we are intellectualizing it. That psychological assessment. I'm just trying to figure this out. So it's, so I'm still in that process. And as we found out just this weekend, people get to realize they start to embody the feeling of being a certain person or a certain way of living a certain way of life. And so where it becomes automatic. So, intellectualizing it as opposed to embodying that human being that I truly want to be, the best father. And it's, for me, I can feel it. It's a feeling I love. Like, the sacrifices I made, like you talk about, is being away from my son. Mark being away from Bonnie, and it was his wonderful grandchild. And I can see it in his face how he embodies being a grandfather and a husband. It just it's palpable, as we found out from this weekend. It's palpable when people are feeling, and you don't get that when it's I can see it switch off energetically. It shifts from, oh, hang on a minute, he's in his head, and suddenly when he gets it, there's this just energy shift, and you can see it and like, wow. It's a bit like, you can't see wind, but you can hear it. But when it hits you, that's what it's like. It's that feeling of energy that you get, and that's what I get from being in the work, being in my truth, waking up every day, going, okay, who do I get to be today?
Yeah, love it. Love the wind analogy. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah,
it's great. What's living it out mean to you?
For me, it's linked to integrity. So who I am as a person, one of the words I describe myself as is an adventurer. So for me, living it out is living an adventurous life. So that's one of the aspects. The other aspect is I'm here for a purpose, and working with men is definitely a big part of my purpose and mission. And consistently sticking to that and essentially expressing my gifts and passions for this life and for the different aspects of life. Like you just mentioned, being a grandfather is one of my greatest joys these days, because obviously I can, when she's noisy or messy, I can hand her back, which is awesome.
Yep.
So a lot of it for me is about integrity and being who I authentically am, and exploring that to the best of my ability. So when I go back from here, I'm taking Bunny for a trip away to adventure to a country I've never been to before. So, that's for me is living it out. Is, I said to her, I could come back home, get into projects. We've got lots going on, but I need a week with you. So it's prioritizing myself, and what's really important to me is, as I said, adventuring is one of them. So it's there. It's being true to that.
It makes a lot of sense, and I know for me, which I shared with you guys early, when I, as a business owner and entrepreneur, before TPM, I would often, like if I had a free time, specifically when I moved out of Santa Barbara, because I didn't know as many people, like, what are you going to do with a free day? And I thought, oh man, I got so many cool things I'm going to do. It's going to be great. And that free day would show up, the day to do whatever I want, and I would end up working. I would dive into work to catch up on work. And if I'm being truly honest with myself, it was because I didn't know what else to do.
Sounds like Doug needs a coach, Neil.
Hey, but,
This was many years ago, many moons. But I could always use it. Do you know any good ones?
no man's an island. I'm sorry.
100%. But I think of a lot of the guys when I speak to them at events or we're doing a coaching program, I'll tell that story and I'll just see the heads nodding.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you have a free weekend, your wife and kids are gone for whatever reason. You're home. What do you do with that free weekend? And a lot of the guys are like, oh, well, I catch up on work,
Yeah.
And they're doing it because at least I get significance from the work I do.
Yeah.
Right. So previously I had several other companies.
Yeah.
I get, people think, oh, wow, you're so smart. You're so good. And I got all my accolades.
Yeah.
I also didn't know, like, I moved to a new area, so I don't have friends to go play pickup basketball with. Or Santa Barbara, I played beach volleyball a lot, soccer a lot. Here in Central Oregon, that has this thing called snow. That's right. So you can't just go out and play basketball.
Snow soccer.
Yeah, exactly. So again, it was that juxtaposition of trying to of building a life. I had built a life where I had a lot of free time. I was afforded a great luxury, and that was that was what I was going for. And within that, though, I lost some of that ability to be me or to have fun, I think. I see a lot of those guys do it. So when I think of living it out, being on purpose, absolutely. Feeling 100%, right?
Yeah.
And then being like you, travel, adventure is very important to me.
Yeah.
And I think most men don't stop to think about, why are you working?
Yeah.
What are you trying to provide, and why are you doing it? Because I'll hear guys say, well, I'm working really hard because I want to spend time with my wife and kids, when I get a little bit older.
Yeah.
And I have some free time.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Yeah.
That's free.
Yeah.
Like you can do that now. You don't have to take them to a Michelin star restaurant. You can cook at home and spend more time together.
Yeah.
They're missing out when they're not present to that, right? So I'm working hard here, so I can do that later. Is that we haven't? We went into the book Power of Now. Was it Garbe Mate, isn't it?
Eckhart
Eckhart Tolle.
Yeah.
And it's life is now. We've created the feeling of, well, I do this for 20 years, and suddenly your kids have left school and they've gone, and hang on a minute, where was I for 70 hours a week, 80 hours a week?
Yeah.
Creating the freedom to say, and that's what I found in the processes we're doing is like there's the two main things, which is decompression or doing something for themselves.
Filling a cup.
Filling a cup doesn't even happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's like that's the one thing that they struggle with.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's where it comes down to, because I had the mentality, if you would ask me to help you move, I'll be there, regardless of anything else.
Yeah.
You need that. Oh, you got this burden? Neil, give it to me. I'll take it. I'm exhausted. Mark, you got some problem? I'll take it.
Yeah.
You go relax. You go have fun.
Yeah.
I'll take the burden.
Yeah.
And a lot of the men do that. They'll say, hey, honey, you go to the spa. You go on vacation with the girls. I'll watch the kids, clean the house, take care of everything.
Yeah. We had a guy at the reset who's living that exact example, and we set up a context for him to really experience what that's like for him and what that limits him in terms of other people being able to access who he is and what his gifts are, as I was saying earlier. And it's so easy to do that and tick the box of work, tick the box of significance, and not tick the box of I'm doing this for me. So, for example, first thing in the morning, what I do in certain parts of the year when the weather's good is early morning archery with my son-in-law, and we go out and we have these 3D targets and we spend an hour, and I'll go for a run, come back, and then we go and do an hour of archery, and that's stuff that fills my cup. But connect with him, it's leadership, it's time to doing something, that practicing a skill. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that we can do that is useful And I think that's important for men to know, is that filling my cup and living it out can be something really useful for my growth, because the human doing aspect is an exhausting, it's the path of force.
Yep.
Right? So this is what we're talking about, is the path of flow, which is really filling our cups and being willing to put ourselves in that position of really feeling great, so that we can. Guys were asking us how we have so much energy for what we do. I mean, and when they heard this is the third of 3 events, and they were kind of astounded because of how much goes into just the one. And it's because, I believe it's because other than the fact that we feed off each other, which is pretty cool. We're a great team. It's also, this means so much, and it fills me up so much, fills Neil up, fills you up so much that we want to do more.
That's a life on purpose, to both your points earlier, right? So a lot of the work I did before TPM and coaching was helping people find their purpose. And it's not a 6-month process. Here's the short answer, right?
Yeah.
Is most people get it wrong. Well, first of all, most people don't think they can live their purpose or live what they want to do.
Yeah.
Right? They have to go do the job that they're in. They're stuck.
Yeah.
Golden handcuffs, are just stuck.
Yeah.
And then they have this daunting idea that I have to find my purpose. And the reason they put so much weight on it is they think they have to find that one thing they're going to do the rest of their lives, versus a purpose can last for a second, a week, a year, or a lifetime.
Yeah.
And the best thing is you can always change.
It's interesting you were speaking into that. And like as a child, children are very much like beings. They go from one flower to another flower, and they go, oh, let's do this for a minute. And then they go to the next, that shiny object syndrome, which is wonderful for children because they're curious. But the component for me is we are entitled to have fun. It's part of our DNA. But as we grow up and go through a school system that in my opinion is 200-year-old dinosaur, to doing, you're now not allowed to have fun. You've got to do your homework before you can have fun. I said, no, you actually you can have fun no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes, we have, part of the process is do homework, but let's have fun too. Let's do this as well and go out there and be. And so we lost that along the way, and it becomes a badge of honor, doesn't it? When, okay, I'm going to work some more. I got this, and
90-hour week.
90-hour weeks is like, okay, but how is that serving you? And we're killing ourselves.
Yeah. It's also when I'm working on, when I do work a 90-hour week, let's just say, it's often because I get so lost in what I'm doing from a place of joy and wonderment. That's very different than having to do something.
Yes.
Right. Or hiding out.
Yeah.
Which a lot of our guys do.
Yep.
I'm not getting the love at home, the affection at home. My wife's ignoring, my kids don't want me around. I'll go work.
Yeah.
I'll go do this thing at my desk. I'll go into my office.
Yeah.
And we have the holidays coming up. What do we know about the holidays, right? All of a sudden, guys are going to be in close proximity with the people they love the most, but don't spend that much time with. And so there's no hiding.
Yeah.
And start small arguments, and if they haven't filled their cup, if they're not living it out, right, they're under resourced, as we would say probably. Then these small little arguments about the dishes in the dishwasher not being put in right, or you didn't clean the coffee pot, they come into huge upsets, right? Oh, well, I didn't clean the coffee pot, but you didn't do the trash, and next thing you know, you have these two people who love each other, can't see each other, and they're fighting, and that distance grows bigger and bigger and bigger. And that's why, divorce day is in January. It's the number one time where divorces happen, because the wife typically is waiting till the holidays are over, kids are gone, or kids are back in school, and then she looks back at those 2 weeks or so, or a week that her husband's been home in the house, and says, hey, we have nothing in common anymore. Because he's under-resourced. He hasn't lived it out. He hasn't lived his full life.
Yeah.
He has nothing to give.
Yeah, the piece that comes up for me, and a few guys coming to this reset were very much resisted by their wives on their way here. Why are you going to this strange place in Central Oregon? Is it some kind of cult, or what the heck's going on? And you'll be unavailable to me, and there's some fear and mistrust and stuff that comes up, and the the guys who do have themselves in a good place in the relationship from the perspective of trust, because they're used to living it out, have an easier time. And the guys who have been under-resourced and then are trying to make up the difference by doing extra laundry or helping out or taking one guy was taking his kids to school or to a I'm not sure, a sporting event or something, and his wife kind of created a setup. I don't know whether it was subconscious behavior or conscious, whereby he would be late for the airport, and she'd put these things on him, and he wasn't living it out. He was just trying to survive and doing things for her to make her happy. And obviously he loves his children, so he wants to do that. And then he sacrifices himself and causes a whole bunch of stress.
Yep.
And then comes in here looking like a deer in the headlights, which, essentially gave us some ammunition, frankly.
Yep.
And yet it's really serious, because that causes dis-ease. And he's not happy, not grounded. She's not happy. She's not getting a leader or a lover or a great energized father. Because he hasn't resourced himself, as you say.
Hey guys, I just want to share something with you. I'm sure we can both agree that in order to fix something, you need to know what's broken. And not only need to know what's broken, but a step-by-step methodology on how you can fix it. That's the easiest way to do it, right? Otherwise, you're going to be toiling with things. That's why I created a free training, a training that not only shows you how you got to where you are, where your relationship is missing that love, respect, admiration, and even intimacy that it used to have, to how you get it back. How do you retain that where your wife's looking at you the same way she used to look at you when she said, I do? I don't know about you, but for me, when my wife looks at me like I'm her man, that I feel like I can conquer the world. And I want that for you. Simply go over to thepowerfulman.com/scales. That's thepowerfulman.com/scales. And I have a free video training for you. You can just click play and see if this resonates for you. Now back to the podcast.
And that's what does that come back to is I believe that us men, the reason we do this work is because we're not taught this.
Yeah.
As the bottom line is that we go, well, what have I got to do to make this work? And I don't know. And they literally don't know. And that's why I think TPM and the activation method is a key component that if we could teach this in schools, we wouldn't be sitting here now.
Yeah.
And that's I think the most frustrating thing for men. We come in the room and they just, that blind spot they can't see.
It's DEAR, right? The guys go into DEAR mode, which is an acronym we use for defend, excuse, explain, react.
Yeah.
And they're, the thing that gets me is, one is the guys don't know what they're doing, right? Their wife is unhappy, and their kids are going to grow up to pattern exactly what that is.
Yep.
Right. And that cycle just continues over and over again.
Yeah.
You guys have heard, I know you've heard me tell the story, but it's not my original story, about the ham going in the oven for the holiday dinner.
We spoke about it at the reset.
Did you?
Is that the one with the
yeah
All right, well, then we won't tell it here.
yeah, that's a great one.
But that's
still relevant though.
It is, but it's just it's the patterns and how we pass down patterns from generation to generation. And one of the things I love about the work that we do is we allow men the opportunity of breaking those generational patterns.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pass it on to their kids, so they can live it out, and they can go back to their wife or not if they choose not to, or maybe they're divorced or separate or whatever.
Yeah.
But they can carry it into their next relationship, and they can show up as the man they've always been.
Yeah. I think another component to this is that accountability. And we had one guy calling the others out at this reset. And one of the simple examples was my wife, as opposed to Bonnie or Victoria or whatever her name is. And to have guys really pay attention to what's important and what's right in front of them to extract the value, as opposed to, as you said earlier, just ticking the box. Oh, the wife. I've heard many guys say the wife. It's not even my wife.
Yeah.
So she becomes either a project or she becomes a component of life. The wife and the kids. I mean, what's that about?
Yeah.
Who are you being in that regard? it's not the business, it's my business, right? And it's my clients, so they have very close connection with significance in that regard. So what is it that men need to get about the connection with living it out and being the best leader in the family that can be?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Mark. What comes up for me is resentment. I think men start to distance their wife from their life because there's resentment there.
Yeah.
And they feel they're being judged, or there's shame and guilt around it.
Yeah.
So therefore, if I distance her and call her the wife, she's not part of me.
Yeah.
You know, therefore I don't have to experience those feelings.
It was interesting what you were speaking into there. Is like, and one of the components of, living it out, calling it out, right, is one of our other ones. Is one of my guys that were in this group, Mike, amazing human, and he was in my TAM. And he goes, Neil, I would have never done what I did today 3 days ago. And I said, well, what was that? He said, I called out somebody for something that it was about. There was something going on within the group when we were in here. And he says, hey guys, we need to connect with this. Can you don't have a side talk going on over here? He said, I didn't do that before. I said, because I was so afraid of being like ostracized or like lashed out at. Mm-hmm. And I said, that's the greatness of this work is when you, and I said, it's all about tone and where you come from is everything. Your tone, I'm from love. Hey, I love you guys, but this isn't working. We need to focus on this. And did I say but? And make sure you edit that. That was like such a powerful awareness, and it was just like beaming smile on his face because he was feeling, God, I have never done this because I've been so afraid of my own shadow.
Yeah.
Now I just feel so wonderful that I can say something with love and not worry about the consequences that were just a fabrication or something that I made up a story about.
So this dovetail, I love that. I love that for him so much. And one of the guys told me, he's like, hey, the powerful man, I never got it until now. The power's from inside.
Yeah.
I go, yes. You have you've always had this power inside of you.
Yeah.
We're just helping you unlock it.
Yeah.
You got to do the work. We're just here to show you the ways.
Yeah. It's not about chest beating macho bullshit.
No. Thank goodness you guys are big guys. So I gotta but and it definitely is. This is my game. No. And to see those men unlock this power, right? To see them really see themselves for the first time.
Yeah.
And this, I believe, is what their wives and their kids have been dying for all along.
Oh yeah.
They, one of the biggest frustrations when I talk to women is the reason they get resentful, the reason they get frustrated is because their man isn't showing up as the man that they see.
Yes.
Or the man they married.
The man that they married, but they married the guy that who he's going to become, right?
Yes.
It's a future, right?
Yeah, it's the Home Improvement Committee.
Yeah. She's investing, right? It's investing in a stock.
Yeah.
And she sees the stock. So when a man stops showing up, when he kind of dies and slowly dies inside for whatever reason, becomes the nice guy, doesn't fill his cup, and stops showing up for her.
Yeah.
And she's like, I see what you could be, and you're not doing that, so I hate you for that.
Yes.
And it was another thing was in that same vein is we as men, and we kind of discovered it this weekend, where we're told to do as children. Yeah. And when we become an adult and marry, and then the wife calls us out on something and saying, hey, honey, I see your greatness, but you're not there. What's going on? Instead of saying, oh, and being humble about it, we're like, oh, I'm not doing that. It's like, who are you to tell me what to do? That comes from like a little boy going, I've got my agency. You're not going to tell me what to do anymore.
Yeah. Stop bussing me around.
Right. And so now into a relationship is like, and what these men find out in this weekend is like, oh, wait a minute. She's my biggest cheerleader. She's my advocate. She wants me to grow.
Yeah.
And I got on a plane in July after we'd done our reset back in July, and I sit next to a woman that spends 2 hours crying with me, telling me about this lovely man that she married, who is now no longer the man she married.
Yeah.
And it was a 2 out of 10 marriage. And by the time I got off that plane, I gave her your book and I hugged the husband and I said, this is preventative medicine right here. And your wife is like your biggest cheerleader. And he just starts crying.
Yeah.
And he had 2 little children.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's what we forget. Is like she is showing us something, and for our unconsciously or consciously, like arrogance comes in. It's like, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm good.
Yeah.
Instead of just being humble.
I had an example of that at an airport. Couple in a airport kind of adjacent restaurant to the lounge, and I was sitting there. Couple behind me having an argument. She was giving him all of the theory of what he should be doing and isn't, and telling him she's had enough. And sitting there drinking alcohol. He was sitting there staring. This woman's imploring him to show up. And he was sitting there going redder in the face, drinking, getting more and more disconnected and shut down. I followed him out. I think he went to the bathroom or something. I followed him, saw him coming back, and I said to him, listen, I work with men. I can help you. There's a program here that'll really make a difference. No, thank you was his answer. I said to him, well, take my card anyway. I gave him, I'd written on a piece of paper just my details to contact me for some help. And that's the biggest thing that one of the men this weekend discovered is the hardest thing for him is to ask for help.
Yeah.
I mean, how the hell can you live it out when you're trying to do it? We say no lone wolfing, but guys, I've got to figure this out in my head. I've got to do it alone. These paradigms they're not healthy masculine principles.
Not at all. I mean, it's like guys don't ask for directions, right? Like,
I make a point of it.
Yeah, well, because you're smart. But I think that's the paradigm a lot of men come from, right? I can't tell. If I tell Neil that my marriage isn't working, Neil's going to think I'm less of a man or try to make a move on my wife or some, like there's fear there.
Yeah.
And what the guys don't realize is Neil in this example doesn't care, right? And can hold space and cares, but isn't judging.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing. And when men come from a place of not living it out, they don't have anything else to give.
Yeah.
So when the wife comes up to them and gives them insights, that's why they explode.
Yeah.
They're not coming from a grounded state.
Yeah. And when another man comes up to try and help, there's mistrust because why should I trust men? Because they're always trying to screw me over in business or, there's competition and so men, as far as we're concerned, we spoke about this weekend, creating a world where men can open up and trust each other and not feel threatened by each other. That's the potential for changing the world in a really big way.
A really big way, right? Especially when men being the leaders of the house, right? Most places theoretically could be the leaders of the house and having that ripple effect, right?
Yeah, 20% of the men of this week have no friends.
Yeah.
Had zero friends.
Like
zero.
Yeah. Like nobody you can call in a time of need.
Wow.
And that made me so sad.
Yeah.
Until now.
I've got some really good friends, of which, a couple are in this room.
Yeah.
How poor is that of a life to have no close connected male friends?
I think my gut tells me that if we did a sample size of the listeners, it would be much greater than 20%.
Oh.
Yeah. And my guess would be is a lot of those guys have friends from like high school, middle school, but no friendships that they've made before there. So I call them remember when friends.
Yeah.
Oh, you remember when we used to do this thing? Or remember when in high school we played football? Remember when? And that's the conversation.
Nostalgic friends.
Yeah.
And out of convenience because they have trust because they were a young age. But they don't have connections that they can call about real stuff.
Well, they do now. They've been to the Alpha Reset.
That's right. Yeah.
They got 11 other friends or 10 other friends they can count on.
Yeah.
And they truly mean it.
That. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the most common thing we hear, right? These guys are brothers for. They'll say this.
Yeah.
And this is where people think it's a cult, right? They're like, I have brothers for life. Like, no, they mean like they've seen these guys go through this crucible, if you will, psychologically, and come out the other side stronger. And they've had each other's backs the whole way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. And we talk about that as we couple that with the idea of living it out. right? Now you have people to actually go do stuff with, to share things with, to do life with.
I mean, expansion of life.
Yeah.
I mean, 18 months ago, my dream was to like, how do I, create community for myself when I work on a Zoom call every week, and that's my business. When I get off that, it's like there's this void.
Yeah.
And suddenly, 18 months later, here I am. My dream has come true because I was committed to that. And I think, and for us men, it is a commitment to stay in the living it out. It's like, I'm true to my word and I'm committed to that. And I declared that that's what I want and I'm going after it. And it takes effort. It's easy to sit at home. It's easy not to get out of bed and go and do a cold plunge and then go work out, because the easiest part is to turn around and walk away from a marriage.
Yes.
And it's like, but
do the work.
Do the work. Yeah. Invest in this. Like what's available on the other side of investing in yourself is magical.
Yeah.
Nothing I cherish in my life ever came easy to me. Right? Can anybody think of anything that you absolutely cherish? There's great things that happen that are easy, but it's nothing that you think about and you remember, you reflect on your years that have gone by. There's nothing that I'm proud of that's easy. There's nothing that I'm like, wow.
Yeah. For me, there's a distinction there. Often I've created the opportunity and it's been easy and it's kind of landed in my lap, or it's been, it was an introduction from Arthur. It led to a phone call with Tim and a phone call with you. I remember where I was when you and I spoke. That was the easy part. The hard part is showing up every single damn day and keeping on, right? Because it's important to me.
Yeah, that's a great distinction. That's exactly what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
You showing up every day. I know because we spent a lot of time together.
Yeah.
Some of your past, and you've had some hard times that most people wouldn't push through or pull themselves out of.
Yeah.
And you have. And that's what I mean by the hard work. So when you get that opportunity where an old friend, that I don't think you spoke to that often, reaches out to you, you're prepared.
Yeah.
Right. You've done the work.
Yeah.
Which and it's like the squeaky wheel, right? It's like every day I wake up and I have my relationships, and it's like I'm conscious of it, right? And for the men out there is like, it takes what you become great at, and living it out is I've become great at it, but the only the reason I say those things, like I wake up every day and say, okay, I'm leaning into this right now because this is uncomfortable. What this is about me, what is about going on with my kid, my ex-wife, Andrea, is like, there's a opportunity here for growth. Yep. And if I'm not living in that uncomfortable, I'm not growing in it. So it's always every day is, all right, I could easily just turn around and walk away from this and ignore it, but that doesn't, it's going to come up later anyway.
Leaning into your edge.
It's leaning into my edge every day. That to me it's so automatic for me. But for those men out there, it takes a practice, and practice become, as we said yesterday, is like, and the more I practice, the luckier I get.
Yeah.
100%. Like, I mean, think back to when you first try to drive a car.
Yeah.
And all the things you had to remember, right?
Yeah.
The blinkers, the pedals, if it was the clutch or not.
Yeah.
And now, when sometimes you just wake up in your home, like, well, how did I get here? You've all had those moments where the driving just happens because you do so many reps. For the two of you sitting on this couch, doing the work that a lot of these men listening want to do is like that driving, right? You guys have lived the message. We talked about integrity earlier, living it out as being an integrity.
Yeah.
You guys have been. You guys are. And so you guys. The thing I love about both of you individually and collectively is my version of it is, and now what? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we add more? Peel back the layers, add more tools to the tool belt.
Yeah.
And I think one of the biggest components of that is accountability.
Yeah.
I can't, and I have, I wake up every day and work out. It's automatic for me, but there's certain parts of my life I know, and having Mark in my life, you in my life, is like, okay, there's accountability here.
Yeah.
And that is key to be successful. There's quote out there, 87% of people that are held accountable reach their goals. And mine's no different.
Yeah. Yeah, we're no different.
Pointy end of the stick, man. It's like, let's go.
Yeah. Well, and you have people around you that'll call it out, right? And
Yeah.
say, hey, look, you're slipping here.
Yeah.
And you said it earlier, it's the tonality and where that place comes from. It's different than being scolded. Hey, you're messing up versus, hey, Mark or Neil or Doug, there's something I'm seeing you slide over here, man. I care.
Yeah.
So I'm letting you know.
Yeah.
So not from shame, as we speak about, is like, it's from, hey, I love you enough to be honest.
Yes.
Yeah, the challenge is that a lot of people in relationships, not women, in this case, referring to women, men as well, don't necessarily have a clear and loving way of communicating, I want you to be better because I see so much in you. It comes out as, hey, what the hell, dude?
Yeah.
Why didn't you, or whatever. And to be the man who is living it out and who trusts himself, etc., it's much easier to receive that. I used to reject criticism. I now welcome it. And, give me feedback. Tell me what I can do better, because I want to learn. I want to grow. And when we drop that self-righteous assholeness, right, and be willing to learn and grow and expand as human beings, as fathers, as leaders, as men, that changes the dynamic. And the willingness to, when we live it out is, I believe, what gives us that security and when we do the work, knowledge, know thyself, to be able to receive, I can get incrementally better. It's not because I'm coming from, I'm not good enough.
Love that. Absolutely. Well, guys, like I said, I appreciate both of you so much, individually, collectively, the work that you have done with these men this past week, the week before, for you, the week before.
Yeah.
And Neil, continue on to this next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm flying out to the Napa Wine Valley region. I think there's going to be about 50 guys in total that will be there serving, and it'll be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
Great time for the Brotherhood event.
Yeah.
So thank you guys.
Thank you.
Bottom line, thank you for what you guys do and what you stand for, and living it out.
Always. No excuses.
No excuses.
No excuses. Awesome. Well, gentlemen, that's a wrap for us today. But as I always say, in the moment of insight, take massive action. You have two shining examples of men just like you, right, who are living it out. They've chosen a path to live it out in their own terms, right? You can pick your own terms and what living it out means to you. But what I'm going to recommend you don't do is hide out, right? There's no need to be by yourself. There's a group of men within the TPM framework that you can connect with. And if it's not within TPM, find your own tribe, find your own group of men. Iron sharpens iron. You want guys playing at a high level. At TPM, most of us are fathers who are also businessmen, right? And that's the level we play at. We have high standards for ourselves and those we spend our time with, and our values are really high. That may not be you. And if it's not, then find that group that is for you. But either way, if for some reason what we're talking about resonates, and I invite you to reach out to one of our program advisors and just have a conversation. That's all it is. And find out more information. Get your questions answered. It's completely easy, and it's one of the ways that you can take a step forward up the ladder. We'll see you next time on the TPM Show.